Fox News polling shows Trump leading Harris by 3 points in Arizona. Pinal County, Arizona Sheriff and former U.S. Senate candidate Mark Lamb joins us now. So, Sheriff, I just want to go to this point right here because this really shows you, if you have a brain, if you're not a partisan, where the American people are at on this. The Fox News poll is showing who would do a better job on the border. 56% Donald Trump compared to Harris 41%. This is not a partisan issue, right, Sheriff?
No, it's not a partisan issue. However, that poll should be probably 80-20 if people were being honest. Because the reality is, over the last 3.5 years, this administration, and really predominantly under Kamala Harris as the border czar, has been a complete and utter disaster. We've seen countless number of people come in. We're seeing crime across this country. We're seeing fentanyl deaths at just ravishing this country. I mean, the list goes on and on, Lawrence, of the problems that come along with this. And Kamala Harris has been one of the...
So, folks, that's just one of the many Border Patrol agents, Border Patrol sheriffs, those people, those thousands of Border Patrol agents that are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for the last 3.5 years under absolutely unbelievable conditions, being stifled at every single point by the Biden administration and Kamala Harris, the border czar, not being able to utilize any tools to facilitate, to send these people, these illegals, back to the countries that they came from. No, their marching orders are, you catch them at the border, you release them into the country, you fly them there, you bus them there, you do whatever. If you have to take them personally with your own vehicles, but you know what I'm talking about. And if that doesn't piss you off, if that doesn't get you angry, if those things are, we're going to hear some startling statistics that are just an absolute bombshell drop for the Kamala thing, because it just proves what President Trump was saying all along, that we are letting murderers and rapists, and it's not a few, it's not a couple, it's not like 5, it's not like 10, it's not like 15 or 20 or 25. No, it's not even hundreds, it's not thousands. It is tens of thousands. And then the number of millions that we don't even know who came across. Folks, stick around to the end of this video. We're going to show you what the Border Patrol Union put out. We're going to show you some of the statistics that just came that were, dropped by them in terms of the amount of illegal aliens that have come in here that have murder convictions from other countries. They've already been convicted of murder, convicted of rape. It is absolutely unbelievable. And then we'll hear from Donald Trump. What he says, he basically says he was right. I told you so for the last 3.5 years, even going back longer. And we're going to hear from the karma chameleon herself as to what she was saying. And then also, what the hell was Stephanie Ruhle covering the ass of Kamala Harris? Folks, this is unbelievable. Let's get started right now with what the Border Patrol Union has to say about this. Check this out, folks.
Crossings over and over. Well, the Border Patrol Union says they want to know why it took Harris so long, more than 3 years, to finally visit, telling Fox in a statement in part, quote, after years of not just ignoring the problem but helping create it, Vice President Kamala Harris is finally headed down to the border. This is nothing more than for her to check the box, but what it is in reality is a slap in the face towards the men and women that put their lives on the line every day, and also a slap in the face to the American public. Where has she been? And back out here live, that is a question the local sheriff out here is wondering as well. Cochise County Sheriff Mark Daniels and his deputies have been on the front line of this border crisis for years now. He tells us he personally invited Kamala Harris to come down here, putting that invitation to her through Democrat Arizona Senator Mark Kelly. And the sheriff tells us while he's glad she's finally taking him up on the offer and coming down here, he's frustrated. He's also wondering why it took so long to happen. Harris is expected to arrive here later this afternoon. She will deliver remarks later this afternoon. We'll be here for all of it, guys. We'll send.
So you heard that, saw that. Sheriff's asking, sent the invitation through the Democratic Center for Arizona. Crickets, zip, zero, nada, never showed up. Now, 50 days to the election? I guess I'll show up at the border and try to, karma chameleon into me now being the border czar and that I'll take care of the situation. Now just go ahead and vote for me. Folks, if you want to take a look at the shocking numbers that are coming out that were released by the Border Patrol, these numbers are not only going to astound you, but you're going to be absolutely livid. This shouldn't be a partisan issue. It shouldn't be red, blue, Democrat, Republican. These people, these are illegal aliens who have committed murders in their own countries, committed rapes and robberies and burglaries and all assaults and all kinds of things. And these are the ones that we know of that we've released knowingly. Release them into our country. Folks, check these numbers out. It is unbelievable that the Biden administration, the Kamala administration, allowed this to happen. It is unconscionable. Look at these numbers.
Of this news, what do you have?
Yeah, and Sandra, bear with me. We just got these numbers moments ago, but it's a jaw dropper to say the least. So to set the stage here, let me just explain what these numbers mean. ICE has something called a non-detained docket. Essentially what that is it means migrants who were encountered by DHS but are no longer in federal custody. So who's on this non-detained docket? It's illegal immigrants who were caught and released at the border, released with the court date years away. They're in immigration proceedings, combined with illegal immigrants who have already been ordered deported from the country by a judge but are still here roaming the country. So keep that in mind, this non-detained docket. According to a letter that the acting director of ICE just sent to Texas Congressman Tony Gonzalez, on ICE's non-detained docket, they're currently tracking 425,000 non-citizens who have been convicted of a crime. Of that number, over 13,000 non-citizens have convictions for homicide and are on the non-detained docket, meaning they're roaming the country right now. On top of that, there are another 15,811 non-citizens convicted of sexual assault who are roaming the country right now on ICE's non-detained docket. It doesn't stop there. Those are convictions. The ICE director also says there are currently just under 1,900 non-citizens on the non-detained docket who have pending homicide charges who are roaming the country, and another 4,250 non-citizens who have pending sexual assault charges who are roaming the country on the non-detained docket. So people's eyes might be glazing over right now with all the numbers we just threw at you. Just to put it in a nutshell right here, what we've learned from the acting ICE director via this letter to Congressman Tony Gonzalez is right now there are over 13,000 illegal aliens convicted of homicide who are roaming the United States right now. There are another 15,811 illegal aliens roaming the country right now who have been convicted of sexual assault, and there are even more who are facing charges for homicide and charges for sexual assault. So this just goes to show, guys, the non-detained docket has exploded under the Biden administration to over, I believe it's 7.3 million. They're anticipating it could hit 8 million by the end of the year. The jaw dropper here too, guys, is all these numbers we just rattled off, they don't even account for the nearly 2 million gotaways who have crossed our border under the Biden administration. Those almost 2 million gotaways, they were never encountered by DHS. They snuck in. They were never caught by Border Patrol. They were never encountered by ICE. There's no record of them, so they have nothing to do with the numbers I just rattled off to you. These are just the numbers of people that ICE has already encountered.
Aren't those numbers absolutely astounding? Aren't they jaw-dropping? That this is what's been allowed to occur under the Biden-Harris administration, where Kamala Harris was the border czar? 30, 40, 50,000 illegal aliens, convicted murderers, rapists, sexual assault, battery, robbery, murder, killings, all kinds of things. And then the numbers we don't even have an idea about. Not to take a victory lap in this. There's no victory laps in this thing, folks, but President Trump and Republicans, and we have been talking about this all the time, that why are we inviting crime and criminals into our country? Don't we already have enough crime and criminals to take care of in this country? And those people, because of Soros-funded back DAs, are having an absolutely grand time over here. We're not even going after the criminals in this country that are committing crime, let alone the ones that are illegally being allowed to come in. So listen to Donald Trump give his response to these numbers, and he's just basically going to say that, hey, I've told you this for a very, very long time. Check out President Trump and his remarks. Here we go.
To this brand new data never seen before, over 13,099 convicted murderers have crossed the border and are free to roam and kill in our country. These are convicted murderers. These are people that were in jail. Now, I've been talking about this for 3 years. When I heard they were opening up the border, 3.5 years, I said, if they open the border, because I know the people on the other side, and they're smart, savvy people, you know, they're at the top of their game. Our leaders are not at the top of their game at all. They never were, actually. But our leaders are not. These are smart people. And these are countries from all over the world, 13,000, more than 13,000. Convicted murderers have been let out of jail, and they're roaming our streets, their country all over. And every state is a border state. You know what that means, right? Every state, because they fly them in. Can you imagine? They fly them in. These people are, I'm starting to think they're stupid. They're just stupid. So that's one, as well, and other numbers came out along with it. Over 13,000 convicted murderers from jails in jail. And I told you, they're releasing them from jails, and these fake people, these stupid people, were certain.
So there, President Trump letting everybody know, answering, this is an absolute bombshell, devastation blow to the Harris campaign. And the Trump campaign is going to take advantage of it because they have to. They absolutely have to. Now, let's go back and see what Kamala Harris was asked these questions about how she would react to all these illegal aliens or immigrants, some of them that have now been, redistributed across America. And then we're going to see what Stephanie Ruhle basically is covering CYA for Kamala Harris and saying, well, you know what? She's going to now take up the mantle. She's going to do for these people in like Springfield, Ohio, and in Minnesota, where you have Somalis and all these other places where we're dumping these immigrants and illegals into towns that just are being, they don't have the money for the support structures to do all of this. Let's check out what Kamala Harris, has to say about this. We all know she's lying through her teeth. And then we'll see how Stephanie Ruhle, who interviewed her, is going to cover for us. And then not only cover for her, but basically say, this is a good thing. She's going to make great stuff out of this. You're not going to believe this, folks. Just watch it for yourself.
Months ago, some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress came together with others, proposed a border security bill. When the United States Congress, members of the Congress, including some of the most conservative Republicans, came up with a border security bill that would have put 1,500 new border agents on the border. It would have put 1,500 more border agents at the border. Would have put more money into stemming the flow of fentanyl, which is killing. It would have allowed us to stem the flow of fentanyl.
A few moments later,
the director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement confirms that more than 13,000 illegal immigrants convicted of murder have been caught at the border.
It's easy to think that half of America is A-OK supportive of mass deportations. But what a lot of voters are leaning towards Trump on immigration is that he does talk about it every day. So the fact that she's now talking about it is a huge win. And not just going to the border, but talking to communities around the country that have had a huge influx of legal immigration. But those communities are economically strained, right? They are maxed out. And what she's starting to do now is talk to those communities. When she talks immigration, not just talking about the dreamers, not just talking about the path to legal immigration, but to say to Americans, and right, nobody's eating cats and dogs in Springfield, right. But there are lots of people in Springfield who are saying, my town looks different, my town feels different. We're stretched, our schools, our hospitals, and she's now starting to address that, which is a huge positive because until now, Donald Trump touches a scintilla scintilla of truth, a scintilla, and then pushes it into a total lie zone. She's now getting into that space and seeing those people who potentially have felt like the government said, sit down, be quiet, and get used to the new world. And so she's now going there.
You talk about the people that are talking about a scintilla of truth? Stephanie, you're one of the biggest effing liars out there. You asked her the question, then you came on your cable TV show and you basically said that she's not answering the question. She's not answering the question. She never did answer the question about what are these people, they want to know. They want to know how can they be helped? They need support services. Overrun hospitals, overrun school systems, overrun social welfare programs, overwhelm social services, overwhelm the streets, accidents happening, all kinds of stuff. And then you bring up the stupid ass cats and dogs crap or whatever. And then you say that Trump is the one that doesn't give a scintilla of truth? That now she's going to be able to take this and this is the mantle that she's going to be running on? That she's going to be able to save these people, to help these people? Are you effing kidding me? The amount of verbal diarrhea, the amount of bullshit that you were shoveling over there is absolutely, absolutely incredible. We're not stupid, moronic idiots. That's what you guys in the media think that we are. That's not it. We know exactly who you people are. You're the elitists. You're the virtue signalers. Because you guys are living in your multi-million-dollar homes in the big cities. Nobody's dumping 10, 20, 30, 40,000 illegals into your backyard, into your neighborhood. So you don't even care. It doesn't even affect you at all. And you come on here once every 4 years and then you basically start talking about all, we need to help these people. Kamala, please answer their question. And she doesn't. And then you cover her derriere, her arse for it, as well as your own. Because it virtue signals to yourself that you did some good today. You asked a question. That's what you guys did. That's all you did. But be that as it may, we're not being fooled about it. This is going to be a huge mistake. People are going to realize and ask the question, why did it take you 3.5 years to go to the border? This is just nothing else than a political stunt. And it's going to hurt the Kamala Harris campaign, and it's just going to absolutely propel the Trump campaign to even further gains in voters. Folks, you've been watching the Dr. Nasser Shake Show. I've been your host. My name is Dr. Nasser. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, like, share, and follow. You all know what to do. Take a look at our video links above and below. My final thought is always, when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. Until next time, folks, take care and stay safe.